Hey guys, and welcome back to Fringe Friday. I am Carmen, and today we are watching season 2, episode 18 of Fringe. And I'm very scared because I think this could actually finally be the episode where Peter finds out the truth of his lineage and his life. And you guys know I have been dreading and looking forward to this episode kind of in equal measure since we first found out in season 1. I am in no way excited to see what Peter makes of all of this, but I do feel like the truth is inevitably going to come out, and it's best if it comes from Walter, because I think it could come from, an enemy, a bad guy, and that would compound sort of Peter's feelings about everything. And so I really worry about, I know some of you guys were like, why are you excited? Like, why do you want Peter to know? Because that's going to change everything. And you're right, like it will, but I just feel very strongly, one, that Peter deserves to know the truth of who he is and where he comes from, because I think that we all deserve that, And two, I just know based off of where the story is going that it's coming out. And if Walter is the one to reveal it, I feel like the impact will be slightly lessened. Like, I'm still terrified. Don't get me wrong, terrified. But yeah. You guys know where we are. I don't feel like I need to do an entire recap. Walter has made his decision. We have followed this journey up until here. So all we really have left to do at this point, it sounds like I'm watching the finale of like the entire show. All we have left to do at this point is see what the fallout is, what the repercussions are. And, I'm not ready, but I am ready. And oh my God, you guys, my hair looks really bad. I'm sorry. I washed it last night, and this is the shit that I decided to do. Anyway, without further rambling, to avoid the inevitability of watching this episode. Of course, that is, again, just me assuming that that's what's going to happen in this episode. I assumed that, excuse you, in the last episode as well, and it did not happen. So, let's just watch it. Uh-oh, lights flickering is never a good sign. I've seen Supernatural. Excuse me? That's the Colonel guy, right? Is that the same actor, or am I wrong?
Spare change? Oh God.
No, please! Let me out of here! Help!
Okay, how did all those people die? But also, I thought that was the Colonel from the episode. It could be from the episode where the people were like spontaneously combusting. They had the injectables in their toes. You guys know what I'm talking about. Wait, he's writing him a letter to tell him? I don't know that that's the best way.
When you get this,
I want you to get your kit together. I just got off the phone with Olivia. She said there was an incident on a train.
I know how much you love trains. Thought it might cheer you up. Be home to pick you up in 15 minutes, all right?
Wait. Is he writing a letter then he's gonna disappear? Surely that's not his plan, right? Walter, you cannot do that. You need to talk to him.
You've been avoiding me all week. He didn't even look at me in the car ride over here.
Well,
What, did he say something?
No, it's all week it feels like he's been enveloped in this sadness.
I haven't noticed anything.
Olivia. You know what? I take it back, you guys. I take it back. Maybe Pierre doesn't need to know. Like, I don't want. I'm already on the verge of tears. I'm fine.
He crossed paths with the man.
He lived.
He's sure that he saw him coming out of this train car.
The man didn't speak to him or acknowledge him. He just exited down the stairs of the platform.
Did the phone stop working too? And the electronics? What?
Oh my God.
Excuse me, gentlemen. That's mine. Thank you.
Okay.
Not just the lights that went out. This is her cell phone, but they're all dead. All the cell phones, laptops, MP3 players, they're all completely drained of power.
Okay.
Any theories, Dr. Bishop?
Oh, no.
We have an image from the platform cameras.
Okay. This will tell us if it's the Colonel guy, because they'll recognize him.
Who is this guy?
And how did he kill everything on this train?
Okay, so maybe I'm wrong. Am I just remembering wrong?
8 samples of this man's lung, brain, and skin. Something's not right here.
Yep, I think it's my paycheck.
What's going on with you? Is there something wrong? Something you want to talk about?
Everything's fine. Astro.
What do you say I take
Samples
samples
from
of the
the
rest
others
and
and
see
see it
if
as a
there's a
trend.
trend?
Spending a lot of time together.
Yeah, he was here this morning. He comes in all the time. Weird guy.
Weird how?
Well, he always draws on stuff.
Well, what sort of stuff does he draw?
Some kind of math, I think. Here, this is him.
Alistair Peck.
Where did he go and how did he get on the train? Though, of course his name's Alistair. He's doing a lot of math.
Send the bishops up, please.
Yeah.
I explain his flourish for numerical wallpapering. Astrophysics. He teaches at MIT.
Okay.
Alistair Peck has taken Einstein's theory of relativity and turned it on its ear. Tachyons are depicted here, but I fail to see their relevance. However, it does confirm that Dr. Peck was dealing with tremendous energy to do whatever it is he's doing.
Yeah. Okay, but what you doing, Dr. Peck? You know, I realized that I recognize him from the Star Trek movie, not Fringe.
What are you doing with my things?
He just walks in? Does he not remember?
Beck is here. He's downstairs. He just walked in off the street.
What is his arms? What is that?
What did you do to the people on that train?
Those people aren't dead, miss. Not permanently.
Excuse me?
Of course they're dead.
But they soon won't be. Although others soon will be, I'm afraid.
You've implanted Faraday mesh, a shield to create a temporal pocket around your body.
Why would you need a temporal pocket?
That's fantastic.
He's leaving.
Dr. Peck?
Walter, what's happening?
Get down.
Leave. Leave, I think.
Spare change?
I'm sorry you have to go through this again.
What? I'm sorry, did he just go back in time? Okay, but how the hell did he just... How the hell did he just do that? Time travel's a thing now? What?
You notice anything weird?
Not yet, but give it 10 minutes.
Are they gonna remember anything? Like, are they gonna have like a sense of deja vu or no? Okay, we're seeing Broyles get there. We didn't see Broyles get here before.
Here's the initial report.
It's slightly different though, because he said, I'm sorry you have to go through this again to that kid instead of nothing, right?
6-foot brown hair says he touched the rail. We're dusting for prints.
Okay.
The man from the train, did he say something to you?
Yes.
Sorry you have to go through this again.
Again?
Yeah.
We managed to ID the print we lifted off the train car relay. It matched a set NASA has on file.
Dr. Alistair Peck.
He was classified as part of a think tank.
Okay.
We know that he lives here, 412 Inman Street.
They found the address a different way because he left a print this time. So things are slightly different. But is it going to end the same way?
Mr. Peck may have done project work for NASA, but he's employed locally.
Astrophysics. He teaches at MIT.
What? Is she getting deja vu?
Wow, I'm having deja vu.
Yes! It's because it happened already! Like,
I read that deja
10
vu
seconds
is
ago.
fate's way of telling you that you are exactly where you're supposed to be.
Well, it actually literally happened before.
I never get them myself. Maybe that's because I'm not on track with my own destiny.
Peter, don't say things that you don't know what you're saying.
I can't drive home with him. I can't look at him.
Walter, you can't keep doing this. Peter knows that something's upsetting you.
I've written him a letter. Instead of me stammering in fits and starts, a letter is more.
No, I think that you should tell him, personally, with your mouth.
Envision his reaction when he reads it. I run the scene in my mind again and again. And every time, the outcome is terrible.
Yeah, I know. I'm scared too.
There's something I'm waiting for, Agent Dunham.
What?
Something important.
You guys, check this out.
What? Oh gosh, I'm scared. Or like, where is that? What the hell is he doing to himself?
You're saying that Dr. Peck's area of expertise was time travel?
They kept cranking out theory.
He already did it.
Is this his wife?
The fiancée. Her name is Arlette. Alistair sent me these about 6 months ago to proofread. He had hopes of seeing them published. Most would say it's gobbledygook.
I happen to know someone who's fluent in gobbledygook.
Very true.
He may well be able to travel through time.
He already did.
And those two folds connect. Tremendous amount of energy is required to absorb the jump.
Then what you're saying, Walter, is that Peck's moving through time is what killed all of these people on the train.
That is my theory, yes. And Olivia, if it is right, then we may well have apprehended this man already.
Yeah.
Possibly several times.
You did, at least once.
I think I know why Peck is doing this. Arlette Turling.
She's dead.
Was killed in a car accident 10 months ago.
He's trying to go back far enough.
To save her.
Yeah.
Grief can drive people to extraordinary lengths.
Yeah.
Using Peck's own theories, I estimate that we witnessed just a 12-hour jump. 10-month jump.
Would kill a lot of people.
Well, how many casualties?
It would depend where he landed. Hundreds.
Hundreds, dang. That's actually not as bad as I thought. I was like, thousands, New York City, like, millions, I don't know.
Well, what's he doing at MIT? The professor said she hadn't seen him for almost a year.
Well, Walter has a lab here. Maybe Peck has a lab there.
But wouldn't they know if he was in his lab at MIT? Like, they just not paying attention to that big of a degree?
If we are correct, for Peck, this is about bringing a dead loved one back to life, then Peck and I, we have something in common.
Yeah.
I think I can convince him to stop this.
Yeah. What, by telling him about the alternate universe where she might still be alive?
Wait. I'm not a threat. I'm an ambassador.
I know who you are.
Do you?
You're Dr. Walter Bishop. I've read you. New Frontiers in Genetic Hybridization.
New Frontier.
And I know that if you wanted to, you could disappear from here in a second. Please trust me.
What's Walter gonna say?
Your goal, your next jump is the 18th of May.
So you know.
Don't do that. Don't stand there. There are snipers outside. Stay away from the window.
Why are you here? What do you really want?
Wait, you can't tell him about Peter. Is Peter listening?
On the day of the crash, we argued, and I hurt her feelings, and I left. As I walked, I became drawn to something on the horizon. A large red ball. It was a hot air balloon. I spent the whole day in this field. I had an epiphany of how to physically apply my theories of time travel. I was in that field the moment her car was hit. If I'd have simply done what she asked me, I know it wouldn't have happened.
Okay.
I will jump back, but I'll jump back into that empty field, Walter. And I will only drain the energy from the plant life. No one will die, and I will pull Arlette from that car, and I will save her life.
We know you haven't gone back to May 18th yet.
Why?
Because you don't know how to.
Okay.
You approximated the time curvature using a 7th-order polynomial. The distance you require, it should be at least 9.
Walter.
Get a team up there now.
I'm telling you how to do this, but I'm telling you you cannot do it.
I must do it.
You'll never be able to live with the consequences.
I told you no one will die.
That's not the consequences I'm talking about.
The personal consequence.
I crossed into another universe and took a son that wasn't mine. And since then, not a day has passed without me feeling the burden of that act.
I'm really scared his thing's gonna come back on.
That I have never told another soul.
What?
Till I took my son from the other side, I had never believed in God.
Okay.
But it occurred to me that my actions had betrayed him, and that everything that had happened to me since was God punishing me.
Okay.
So now I'm looking for a sign of forgiveness. I've asked God for a sign of forgiveness. A specific one. A white tulip.
Oh, white tulip.
Tulips don't bloom this time of year, white or otherwise.
But he's God. And if God can forgive me for my acts, then
He can make a white tulip bloom.
it's in the realm of possibility that my son possibly may be able to forgive me too.
Aww.
God is science. God is polio and flu vaccines and MRI machines and artificial hearts. If you're a man of science, then that's the only faith we need.
Then allow me to serve as a cautionary tale. There will be repercussions. If you pull Arlette from that car, you don't know how things will be changed by your actions, but they will.
Yeah.
It's not our place to adjust the universe, and you will never be able to look at her again without knowing that, just like every time I look at my son, I have traveled through madness to figure this out.
I'm gonna cry.
You're asking me to just leave her there.
It's not fair. I know.
No, stop, I'm all right. Gentlemen, please. Gentlemen, don't you see we won't remember this? Don't you see we won't remember anything? No, we won't.
They just fucked everything up.
Dunham.
Alistair Peck is back at his residence. 6 dead, including 2 Boston PD officers. We have to take him down before it jumps again.
What the hell's gonna happen? Carol Bryce, MIT.
Shot. Take it.
Oh gosh. Oh no. Dude. I feel for him because he's somebody grieving like Walter. Oh no. Did he get shot? Or is he just going through time again? Holy shit, did he do it? Oh no. Doesn't he look like a certain number of years older? Wait, so he died with her? Walter Bishop.
It's been almost a year since Alistair died.
Today's the day I'm supposed to send it.
Open it.
Why would you open
I've
it?
sealed it if you wanted me to see what's inside.
Oh, is it only a year? I thought it was like 10 years. Okay, never mind then. Oh yeah, they said 10 months. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. I bet I know what it is. Is it a white tulip? Is he gonna burn it? Is he gonna tell him?
Hey, Walter, hey, I got you something. Fix your turntable. I tell you to keep it out of the lab this time, but I know you won't.
Thank you, Peter.
Thought maybe you'd like some music to cheer you up.
Is he gonna tell him?
Walter, I know that you've been in a funk for the last couple of weeks. If there's something you want to talk to me about.
No. Something was weighing on me, a decision that I'm fine.
Huh?
I'm gonna go hit the hay.
So is he not gonna tell him? Confused. Mail. Let's see if I'm right. Yep. Every time that I kind of think like this is for sure the episode that Walter tells Peter, like it doesn't happen. And a part of me is like relieved because I don't have to go on that entire emotional journey and then have the characters and the dynamic in the show change forever. However, a part of me is like, I don't know, I can't breathe that sigh of relief that it's finally happened, you know? Like, it's still, the tension is still here. Like, I'm carrying it with me still because Peter still doesn't know. And I know that it, like I said in the beginning, I know that some of you are a little confused as to why I want Peter to know. But I just feel very strongly that the show is definitely pointing us in the direction that he is inevitably going to find out. And the only real choice, you know, not really choice that the audience has because we don't get to choose it anyway, right? But the only real course that we have is whether or not Walter tells him or whether or not bad guy number 8 tells him, you know? So I really don't want it to be bad guy number 8. I want Walter to have a chance to tell Peter and to explain to Peter his reasoning and to try to get him to understand that it's hard too, right? Because Walter, if he tells Peter, then he's gonna have to tell him that he intended to return him and his mother kind of didn't want that, and then in a way that is going to paint her as the bad guy. And I think that that's going to be not great for Peter. And I don't know. It's just, obviously there will be a lot of fallout if/when Peter finds out the truth. But I can't help but feel that that truth is better coming from Walter than it would be coming from anyone else. And so the longer that we kind of go with these near misses of Walter is going to tell Peter, Olivia is going to tell Peter, Walter and Olivia are going to tell Peter, you know, like whatever. And then it's like, no, they're not. It makes me more stressed and like anxious about it, because I feel like we're inching towards him finding out from a bad source, and then the blow up and the fallout and the repercussions just being 10 times worse than what they might have been had Walter been the one to tell him. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want their dynamic to change. I love Walter, you guys know. I hate to see Walter upset. I hate to see him in pain. I love Peter, and I hate to see him hurt or upset. But I think that it's an inevitability, and the only choice that I have as an audience member in my way of framing it and thinking about it in my own head is that I get to think, like, what would be the way that this inevitability happens with the least fallout and repercussions. Yeah. And so that's why I want him to know. And I do think that Peter deserves to know the truth of who he is and where he comes from. He deserves to know that when he was a child and he was feeling left out or isolated and different and all of those things that he felt as a kid growing up, that there is a reason that he felt that way, that his sense of not quite fitting in, it has an actual real reason behind it, and that maybe his mom is still alive in the other world, and maybe his dad is still alive in the other world. And I think that it would be valid if he wanted to find that out, you know? Like, I don't think that would take away from the fact that he loves Walter and Walter raised him, our Walter. But I mean, he does have people in the other world that love him and miss him as well, if they're still alive. And I think that he deserves to know that, you know? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like, is it silly that I don't know. I don't think it is silly, but like, I just let me know what you think, and if you agree, disagree, and what your reasoning is for that, because I love to hear different opinions, and maybe you'll change my mind, you know? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should just want Walter and Peter, like a part of me genuinely wants it to never come up, like, because I love the dynamic that we have right now, and I don't want to upset it. But I don't think that that's the right thing to do. Sorry if this post-episode discussion is a bit disjointed, you guys. My back is killing me, so I have to keep getting up like every time I talk about something and walking around to make it feel better before I come back and talk about something else. So in this episode, we also had the introduction of the white tulip, which was a phrase that I had heard before in relation to Fringe, but had no idea like what the hell it meant. I just had heard white tulip, and so it was really cool to see the way that it came into play and what it actually means, that it's a signal for forgiveness and being able to move past things and continue on with your life. And I think it's really cute and interesting, and I love the way that Fringe has in the past sort of dealt with religion versus science, and how they don't really take a clear stance on it, you know? Like, they're not like they're not overly judgmental of whichever way that you kind of fall on the spectrum. And I think that they have the discussions in a honest and I think mature way, so that nobody is being called like silly or stupid or ridiculous for believing one way or the other. And I thought that even in this episode, when Walter was talking about, as a scientist, he had never believed in God prior to traveling to the other world. And then when he, did what he did and all of the bad things that have happened since he did that, he kind of saw as, God's judgment, perhaps, that he had done something that he wasn't supposed to do, that wasn't for him to do, which it's interesting because the one lady who was religious that he was talking to in the flashback episode, whose name I cannot remember, but she said, there are some things that aren't for us to do. There are some things that are for God. And then that's kind of what Walter reiterated. So I think that after everything that happened, that he kind of came to believe that as well. And I liked that the guy's response was, sorry, I spaced out, but was God is science and all this stuff. Because I think that, not to bring my own personal religion or beliefs into it, because that's always dangerous on the internet, but I do personally believe in a higher power. And so I think that it's interesting that he said, like, God is science, and then he sent Walter a white tulip. And Walter, of course, doesn't remember his conversation with him. So to Walter, that seems very out of place and interesting. And I'm curious as to what he's gonna make of it, because he doesn't know that he had that conversation with that guy. But I think that a lot of times religious people are sort of seen as not proactive in what they do, right? Because they have faith. But I think that you can be proactive and have faith. Like, God created science and scientists and all that stuff. So I think that you can still believe in science and God. And I think that while the show kind of, I think, leans more towards science, I think it doesn't diminish or distinguish. It doesn't diminish or dismiss the possibility of God, right? Which I think is really important, because I don't know, I think that it's important to listen to both sides of the debate in a mature and open-minded way, because I think that the idea that people who are religious can't believe in science is kind of silly, and vice versa. Anyway, yeah, I just appreciated that moment, and I love the white tulip, and I hope that it will be a signal to Walter that he can make amends with Peter and he can tell him the truth, and that hopefully for us, the audience, it's kind of a sign that, like, there will be a storm, and shit's gonna happen, and it's going to settle eventually and it's gonna be okay. I don't know. I hope that Walter doesn't take it as like he doesn't need to tell Peter because he has forgiveness. I hope he takes it, like he said, as a sign that Peter can forgive him, and that then he does eventually tell him. And I've already explained to you guys the reasons why I think that that's an important step that Walter needs to take and that the show needs to take. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. But I am very happy to finally understand the white tulip reference in regards to Fringe. And I love the message of it. It's really beautiful, I think. And I don't think that I articulated very well at all what I was trying to say in regards to religion and versus science, or religion and science. But if you want like TLDR, I think that the two can coexist, and that the two ideas should coexist, and that we shouldn't judge people who allow them to coexist. I think that when it comes to religious versus non-religious people, I think that there is a way to respectfully disagree and exist in the same space, as long as you are, again, respectful. Because I think that there's no reason to sort of dismiss somebody's thoughts and beliefs just because you disagree with them. I think that you can, I don't know, just all coexist peacefully, because, you know, that's life, that's humanity, that's the world, you know. I think that we all have varying degrees of beliefs and feelings and thoughts about the world and ourselves and other people. And I think that everybody is so different that it's kind of silly to want everyone to be exactly the same and to think the same and to believe the same. So yeah, I think as long as you're respectful about agreeing to disagree, then there's nothing wrong with having healthy discussion and debate regarding religion or whatever other topics you want to talk about. That's all. Okay, that was a lot of rambling. I don't know that I have that much more to say. I thought that this episode was really interesting. I mean, holy shit, hold on. I don't have more to say. Literally time travel. Literally they introduced time travel. And I'm like, no, nothing else to say. No. Okay. They introduced time travel in this episode. Like, they introduced time travel. And that's crazy. I like that everything that they do is less magic and more science-based, right? Like, there's no, you can't just find like a wormhole in time and go through it to a different time without consequences, like real life consequences, like people dying because all the energy is sucked out of them, like all the wildlife dying. You know, you can't adjust things without immense repercussions. And I like that Fringe always kind of grounds it in that way. Like, there's never just sort of magic for the sake of it. Although if you've watched Once Upon a Time, you know magic always comes at a price. Anyway, I just like the grounded nature of Fringe, even though it's kind of like not super grounded. But I like that a lot of the theories and ideas regarding things have a real basis in fact and science and reality, even if they are then kind of taken and like fluffed up a bit to do this. I also think that a lot of things are going to be possible in the future with science. So, like, I don't think time travel is outside the realm of possibility for the future, but I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I just know that they know what they're doing. Well, they're doing crazy shit, and I respect them for it, but okay, is that all that I have to say? I'm like, maybe after forgetting to talk about the fact that they introduced time travel, maybe there's something else that I wanted to talk about. I can't remember if there's something else I wanted to talk about. If there is, I'll try to like either insert it in the post-episode discussion in text form or talk about it in the next episode if I just blatantly forgot something that I really wanted to mention. Whew, my back's still hurting. All right, guys, I think that's all that I have to say. I could ramble a lot more about like Walter and his emotional state and how much I'm very worried about it, but I think it's gonna start going up after this episode. Hopefully, because I don't want to see Walter cry, because then I cry and then it's a whole thing. Anyway. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you want, you can like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already. You can also watch the next episode right now over on Patreon if you're watching this on YouTube, as well as my entire full-length reaction to this episode and every episode thus far of Fringe. Yeah, that's all I have to say for now. I cannot believe we are at the tail end of season 2. Kind of nervous about what's coming, but also excited. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling at you guys. Until next time. Bye, guys.